I tried something different this week. Not a reset, not a before and after, just honesty. I'm 68 years old and down 16 pounds the last few months, but I've been stuck on a plateau for weeks and am looking for the edge, the way off this flat top. Yet it's the holidays. Is that even possible? So instead of striving for perfection, I started documenting nearly everything, the meals I loved and the foods I probably shouldn't have eaten. What I managed to record was enough to shift something. Nothing dramatic, just enough to remind me what really makes my body feel good. Let me show you. Grimly and Gigi are joining us today, so this will be interesting. And you may hear some noises in the background because my daughter is frantically baking for my granddaughter's birthday. So pardon the noise. I knew this week had to be different. My body felt ready, not for the marathon therapeutic weight loss again, but to start training for it again. I started grace fasting on my fasting days, and on eating days, cooking food that satisfies not just my stomach, but also nourishes my joints, my energy, and my emotions. I wanted quick, simple meals that feel like home and help my body feel steady on her feet. 16 pounds down is wonderful, but feeling like myself again, vibrant, energetic, that's the real goal this week. I've been wanting to get off this plateau because I know what momentum feels like, and I miss it. But with the holidays swirling around and ever present caretaking, maybe I just plan to take the time to get steady again this week, to actually shop for and consistently prep the foods that give me that viva la vive, like prepping my greens. I love the smell of greens, all kinds, but making my Brussels sprout leaves for stir fry, that's the bomb. So surely this week I could give myself the time to do that, right? And that's where things got messy. So surely this week I could give myself the time to do that. Yet that's where things got messy. Along with the holiday chaos, deadlines for filing regulatory paperwork were due, new medical appointments. My iPad crashed and my phone was literally heating up. There were presents to buy and wrap and devices to upgrade and set up. Late nights, a snowstorm, and honestly, some days I didn't eat the way I hoped I would. But I didn't push it this week. I didn't even dream of being perfect, but I also refused to give up. Some meals were great, some meals were convenient, and some meals, well, let's just say that they didn't help the plateau situation. But I did one thing I hadn't done before. I documented almost everything without judgment, just awareness in, for risk of sounding corny, love. The turning point wasn't a meal, it was a moment. Midweek, as I looked back over my clips in the solitude at my desk, something clicked. I remembered how I felt after the meals that did not support me, and then I remembered the ones that did. And that little bit of visual honesty did what willpower could not. The next day, an eating day, time got away from me, and I became truly hungry before I could prepare what I really really wanted. I didn't even have 30 minutes to prep and 15 to eat. I was tired of grabbing a pure protein shake, so I paused and listened. I thought, quick drive to Kroger's for a rotisserie chicken? But I heard my butterfly whisper, but could you resist the other aisles right now? No. Well, I could go to Taco Bell, simple bean burrito. But the butterfly came through again. How does your stomach feel after eating their food? Okay. Chipotle then will fit the bill right now. Butterfly whispered, yes, this one. And Chipotle did. It wasn't dramatic, just a better choice in the moment this week than I'd made last week. Was it the best choice? If I could have cooked, no, but I couldn't cook just then. So it was nothing dramatic, just a better choice in the moment this week than I'd made last week. It also carried me into the next fasting day, my first clean fast of the entire week. And that, y'all, was enough to shift my mindset off the plateau that I was still walking on. I didn't break my plateau. My weight held steady, but I broke the habits of comfort that kept me there. By the end of the week, I felt steady again with TRE and was fasting regularly again. My weight didn't drop, but my resilience rose. And notably, so did fun. Honestly, that might matter more in the long run. So this week feels like it became a transition from the safety of the plateau after the battering of stresses over many weeks. The plateau has held me and my nervous system steady. So thank you, plateau. But I want to get moving again because this is getting boring. It's too flat for too long. That's what I feel. I don't want my whole life to be lived this way, a flattened life. So this week, I ate the way that makes me full, not in cheeks or in thighs, but in my energy. Gently, reliably, each new day more than the last. No force to get back on track or else. More like, okay, it's time. A calm agreement. Thank you, butterfly friends, for sharing this week with me, especially during the season when so many of us are navigating very similar things. May you also find your way to more peace and more fun while doing all the things. If you want to try what I used most this week, the Grace Fasting Guide, it's in the link below. It's free. It's what carried me through 2 clean fasts this week. Hit subscribe to see how this plateau actually breaks. Heck, I don't even know how or when it will end. And that's exactly what I want to show you in this channel, not simply the highlight reel, but the messy middle.